Welcome back, my friends. I know it's been a minute, and I was originally planning on doing more Shogun Showdown content, but people didn't really seem into it. And since I had quit playing TFT, I really didn't have content I thought was appropriate to upload to the channel. But got a weird text the other day that may give me some information about Set 10. Now, it's no secret that Set 10 is going to be music-based. They kind of revealed that when they revealed what they were doing in 2023. As you can see with the musical note and the fact that they're dropping the mic, yeah, they didn't try very hard to hide it. So let me jump into the text that I got and explain a couple of things. I've mentioned in lives before that I only live a couple of miles from Riot headquarters in Los Angeles, and I actually have friends at Riot, or should I say people I've met who work at Riot, couple I'm friendly with, couple I just talk to every now and then. None of those people are on the TFT team, and none of those people that I know of know anyone on the TFT team because I've mentioned to them about my channel and asked them to show it to them in the hopes that maybe I could get into early access programs, have some input specifically into hyperroll. Anyway, you get it. I tried to work the contacts, never really got anywhere with it. And understand that Riot is like a small city. It's 1 million square feet. The entire campus has over 2,000 employees. So unless you work next to someone, you're not likely to know them or have any contact with them. So I get this weird text calling me Artark, which is not something anyone really calls me except people who know me from YouTube. There are a couple of people who have this number, so I thought it was that. They said they were a friend at Riot, which made me think it was just one of my friends messing with me. Happened to be a friend of mine had gotten a new phone that day. I didn't know if they were going to change numbers or not. I thought it might be them changing numbers, just messing with me. Asked if it was them. They said no. It definitely wasn't because that person ended up keeping the exact same number. Then they start telling me how I'm going to like Set 10, and the reason I'm going to like Set 10 is because it is less RNG based. I had gone off on several rants about this throughout the season on how I didn't like this set because it was even more RNG based than the previous one, which was more RNG based than the previous one, which goes back to Set 6, which was my favorite, which is where they introduced augments, which took out some of the RNG from the game while leaving a little left. Anyway, as you can see from the conversation, they weren't really giving me much information. I started to ask them if I could get into the alpha so that I could see this for myself. They said they weren't part of that team. Asked them if they could talk to them. They said no. I asked if they could give me more information about it. Guess some of the champions, some of the mechanics. Nope, they couldn't. They cited the NDA. At this point, I'm wondering, is this just some kind of weird prank? But if so, they're not really giving me much information for it to be a prank. Then I tried to get them to tell me how they got my number so I could figure out which person at Riot it was, if this was real. I even asked if they could get me into some of the playtests. Not sure if you know this, but if you live near Riot HQ, you get a bunch of emails all the time asking you to do in-person playtests. Let me cut away from this and show you one of those. You basically get an email asking you to take a survey saying that they're going to do in-person playtests. As you take the survey, they tell you how much they're going to pay. In this one, it was $175 for 6 hours. And as you go through it, you can usually kind of figure out what they're going to want you to playtest. In this case, this survey was obviously related to a new game because they were asking a lot of questions about new games you might be interested in. So I had asked this person if maybe they could forward one of those tests over to me for TFT because they're going to do it with someone. I've gotten them before where I was pretty sure it was TFT, but often they were doing it on days that I couldn't make it or the pay was really low. There's also a downside to it if you're a content creator because you go in under an NDA and you do not get to talk about anything you saw. So it kind of leaves you with some information that you cannot spill. They did tell me that the official announcement for the set would be 11/6, which does add up if you follow the math. That should be approximately when they're making the announcement for this new set. Since they obviously knew me and knew the channel, I asked if they could be the new Gary. They told me that this was a throwaway number and I could post this, but they wanted me to blur the number out, which is why I have done it. I guess they were afraid it could be traced back to them, although they didn't seem concerned about the NDA, as they said they weren't spilling anything that was covered under it. So I don't know. Does this mean that they're going away from a lot of the RNG stuff that worked its way into this set? I don't know how the internals are looking on their end. I know that pretty much every single person I knew who played TFT has quit. All the people I had accepted as friends on the channel, when I do see them on, I don't see them playing TFT anymore. I don't know if they saw a steep drop-off from the initial Set 9 excitement, or if things stayed steady. I have no delusions that my opinion meant nothing to whatever decision they made, as I have zero clout when it comes to TFT and hyperroll, but it is possible that they saw a wider trend and that I wasn't alone in the woods on this one and they decided to make some changes. Or this is just someone who decided to mess around to see if they could get me to post a video, in what case, you won. Frankly, I hope this is true, because I was not even planning on doing much research into Set 10 until I got this, because if they really are going to pull back on the RNG and they're going to keep hyperroll intact, then I'm sure I'll check it out. I reached out to them a few more times even after I captured the screenshots, and no response. I think it might have been a throwaway number, or the whole thing was just a prank. If you got this far, let me ask you a quick question. Is anyone actually interested in seeing Shogun Showdown runs? It's a fun game. You can check out the video on it, but it ain't that easy to edit, so I only really want to do it if it's something people really want to see. Anyway, hope everyone had a wonderful summer, is enjoying the beginning of fall, looking forward to whatever is coming, and as always, have an absolutely awesome day.